Hello everyone, this is Professor Mahesh Pardeshi from Parvatibai Gengamati College of Engineering, Baholi, Pune. Now, today we are starting with the classification of sections. Let me first explain you what is meant by classification of sections. While designing any structure in the steel structure, we have to select different type of sections. These sections are like I sections, channel section, T section, angle section. Various types of sections we have to choose while designing the steel structure. So among that all the sections, suppose we consider the I section. I section is classified among the four types which are given on the screen, that is plastic, compact, semi-compact and cylinder. But the classification is depends upon the width to thickness ratio. Here we have to calculate width to thickness ratio of every section, and based on the values of that width to thickness ratio, there are there is a table which is given in IS 800 2007, page number 18, table number 2, limiting width to thickness ratio. In that table, the various width to thickness ratio given for the various type of sections or various classes of the section. Various values are given for a particular type of section. Means we have to find first width to thickness ratio, and based on this value we have to classify the section whether it is plastic, whether it is compact, semi-compact or cylinder. Okay, means we have to classify the section based on the width to thickness ratio of the element. Now what is mean by element? Suppose we consider the I section. For I section, there are two elements. First element is flange and second element is web. You can see in the next slide. Just wait. This slide. You can see in this slide the I section is given, and for that I section is divided into three parts. First is the top flange, second is the web, and third is the bottom flange. As this. Okay, this is the flange, top portion, this is the wave, and bottom part is the bottom flange. Okay, in these flange portions or flange elements are called as the outstanding element. This one, outstanding element, flange portion. And this wave is called as internal element. This wave is called as internal element. Now this is why we have chosen this. The means flange is the outstanding element or web is the internal element. Now see the definition of these elements. First is the internal element. These are the elements attached along both longitudinal edges to the other elements or to the longitudinal stiffeners connected at suitable interval to the transverse stiffness. For example, web of I section. See, the web of the I section, both the edges of the longitudinal part, that is, both the longitudinal edges are attached to the other elements. Here you can see in this figure, this web, okay, and the longitudinal edges of these edges, web is this one, first this one, and second is this one. Means both the edges are connected to the other elements, both the edges are connected to the other elements. That's why this wave is called as the internal element. That's why this wave is called as the internal element. Okay, understand? Now next is the outstanding element. It is also called as outstands. See, these are the elements attach along only one of the outer edges, which is attach along only one of the longitudinal edges to an adjacent element, the outer edge being free to displace out of the plane. Okay, means here in case of this outstanding element, only one edge is connected to the other element, not the both edges. But in case of the internal element, we can see that both the longitudinal edges are connected to the other elements. Here in case of outstanding element, only one edge is connected to the other elements. Now, for example, flange overhang of a eye section means this flange portion of the eye section is the example of outstanding element. These. Now, other examples are stem of a T section. Stem of the T section. T section is made up of the two parts. First is the flange and second is the stem. Okay, stem of the T section. And legs of an angle section. Both the legs of the angle section are the outstanding element because both the elements are connected at one edge only and other end is free. Other edge is free. That's why this is the example of outstanding element. Got the idea about internal and outstanding element? Okay. Now we will see the classification. While doing that classification, we have to find the width to thickness ratio. Suppose eye section is given. For that eye section, we have to find the width to thickness ratio for the flange, that is top flange. Again, we have to find the width to thickness ratio for the web, that is the internal element. Means we have to find the width to thickness ratio for both the elements, that is internal element also and outstanding element also. Understand? Now, why the classes are given as like plastic, compact, semi-compact and slender. So, see, when the material is loaded or any element is loaded, first of all, due to that load, the stresses are formed in the material. Stresses are formed in the material. Due to that stresses, the material gets elongated. Or first of all, there is a elastic limit. Up to some elastic limit, there is a stresses. And after that elastic limit, you will better understand with this next diagram. You can see here in the diagram. First of all, if any material is loaded, this is the elastic limit. This one is the elastic limit where in the stress strain curve you can already see that stress is directly proportional to strain within the elastic limit. Means up to this limit there is a elastic portion. There is a elastic portion and the capacity to resist the moment is very less. You can see in case of this slender element, slender class. Okay, in case of this slender class, the moment resisting capacity is very low. You can see here. This is on y-axis there is a moment capacity is there, and on x-axis there is a rotation. There is a rotation. Okay. Now here the slender elements are fell within the elastic limit also. You can see here slender elements are fell within the elastic limit. Okay. Now next is the semi-compact elements. In case of semi-compact elements, these elements are reach up to the yield stress. These elements are reach up to the yield stress and the moment resisted by that elements, that is semi-compact element, is the yielding moment. Is the yielding moment and denoted by My. Okay, understand this part? Slender and semi-compact. Now see the compact portion. In case of compact portion, the elements get some plastic moment capacity. Elements get some plastic moment resisting capacity and the moment resisted by that compact section is the plastic moment MP and it is denoted by MP. Okay, these compact elements can resist the higher moment. Okay, and this moment is called as plastic moment denoted by MP. Now again there is one class and that class is known as plastic. Last class is known as plastic. Now see what happens in this case. Between the compact and plastic section, in between these 2 points, there is a rotational capacity which is formed within the element. This rotational capacity formed within the element. Now, what is the role of this rotational capacity? When the material is loaded, it takes the load up to its limiting value, up to its limiting value. But after that limiting value, there is again one part. That part is called as the rotation capacity. Due to that rotation capacity, the material or the element can resist the additional moment. Material can resist the additional moment, and this is the advantage. You can say that this is the advantage of the element, that it is having the plastic moment or rotational capacity. The material is having the additional rotational capacity. Due to that rotational capacity, material can take the additional loads. Material can take the additional loads. Now I will just give you the basic idea about this classification. What is mean by this slender, semi-compact, compact, and plastic sections. Now we will study in deep. Okay, as per IS 800 2007. Okay, if you're having your IS codes right now with you, please open the page number 17. 17. Please open the page number 17 and see the clause number 3.7. That is the classification of cross section. Classification of cross section. Here, the plate elements of the cross section may buckle locally due to the compressive stresses. Now, what is mean by the plate elements? These are the elements having the two dimensions are very large, and third dimension is very small. Third dimension is very small. Okay, means for the example of plate element is slab. In case of the slab, length and width are more. Okay, as compared to thickness. Thickness of slab is very less. That's why the slab is called as a plate element. Okay, now see, the plate elements of a cross section may buckle locally due to the compressive stress. The local buckling can be avoided before the limit state is achieved by limiting the width to thickness ratio of each element of the cross section subjected to compression due to axial force, moment, or shear. Now, what is the meaning of this line? Meaning of this line is, by adjusting the width to thickness ratio, we can achieve the local buckling. We can achieve or we can prevent the local buckling, failure of the structure or element. Okay, local buckling is happens due to the compressive stresses. Local buckling is happens due to the compressive stresses. Okay, and this local buckling we can achieve or we can limit by limiting the width to thickness ratio of the element. Next one is, when the plastic analysis is used, the members shall be capable of forming the plastic hinges with sufficient rotation capacity without the local buckling to enable the redistribution of bending moment required before the formation of the failure mechanism. So this is very important point. What is said in that point? When the plastic analysis is used, when the plastic analysis is used, members shall be capable of forming the plastic hinges. What is mean by plastic hinges? These are the hinges which is used to transfer or redistribute the bending moments within the elements, within the adjacent elements. Plastic hinges plays an important role for the distribution of bending moment within the element or adjacent element. Okay. Now, next line is, When the elastic analysis is used, the member shall be capable of developing the yield stress under the compression without local buckle. This we can explain by using the same figure also. In the same figure you can see that in case of the elastic analysis, we can go up to this point only, up to this point. Okay, by using that elastic analysis we can go up to this point, and the stress or the moment is called as the yielding moment. The moment is called as the yielding moment, and material or element is subjected to yield stress when the elastic analysis is used. But see, in case of the plastic analysis, we can go up to this point. We can go up to this point, that is the plastic. Up to this point, that is plastic. Okay. So by seeing this same figure, you can observe that by using the plastic analysis, that is plastic moment of resistance. Here you can see that this value is more, and this value is less. So by using the plastic analysis we can achieve the more moment resisting capacity of the section, and this is happened due to this rotational capacity due to plastic hinges, increase in this rotational capacity due to plastic hinges, and for due to that we will get the additional moment resisting capacity, and that moment is called as the plastic moment. Okay, can you get the difference between the elastic analysis and plastic analysis? Okay, now next point, on the basis of the above discussion, there are the four classes of the section which are given. What are the four classes? What are the four classes? These are plastic, compact, semi-compact and slender. Now see the first point, that is plastic, and this is under the class 1. Class 1, that is plastic. Cross sections which can develop plastic hinge and have the rotation capacity required for the failure of the structure by formation of plastic mechanism. The width to thickness ratio of the plate elements shall be less than specified under the class 1. Under the class 1 plastic use given in the table number 2. All of you please open the IS 800 page number 18. All of you open your page number 18 of IS 800 2007 and see the table number 2, limiting width to thickness ratio. Okay, the first column is given as first column is compression element. You can also see the table here also, but it is not visible properly. In the first column, this one, you can see in your IS code, this first column. Okay, compression element. Okay, here the various types of elements are given in the first column, and the first part is that outstanding element of a compression flange. Outstanding element of a compression flange, in that there are two parts, that is the rolled section and welded section. Rolled section and welded section. Now can you get the difference between these 2 points, rolled section and welded section? Can you get the difference? Okay, rolled sections are those sections which are manufactured at the workshop or at the manufacturing unit. Rolled sections are the readily available section in the market. These are called as the rolled sections, which are already manufactured at the workshop or manufactured in the manufacturing unit. Okay, these sections are called as the rolled section. And now the second one is the welded section. Second one is the welded section. Welded sections are nothing but that sections which are manufactured or made on site. Suppose we have to make I section on site. What we have to do? We have to take the 3 plate elements. We have to take the 3 plate elements. First plate element is act as a top flange. Second plate element is used as a web portion, and third plate element is used as a bottom flange. Okay, in such a way that we form the I section on the site. And while doing the classification of that section which is made up on site, for that case we have to select this welded sections. Okay, we have to select the second part, that is the welded section, because These sections are welded on site, manufactured on site. That's why these are called as the welded section. Okay, get the idea? Now see the next column, that is the ratio. Means what we have to find, b upon tf, b upon tf. Okay, in case of the web portion we have to find d upon tw. See below that, I 1 2 3 4 5 fifth line, fifth line you can see that fifth, sixth, seventh. Below that there is a d upon tw ratio. Means in case of the internal element we have to find the d upon tw ratio. Get the idea? Get the idea? Here you can see these portions. In your IS code you have to see, but because it is not clear here. Okay, see in your IS codes. Okay, now see the next column, that is the class of section, which is our interest, that is class of section. Okay, in that first class is given as plastic. We already read out these things. Plastic section. Okay, class 1. In case of this section, the value for the rolled section b upon tf value is given as 9.4 epsilon. Value is given as 9.4 epsilon. Now how you will get the value of epsilon? See the note number 2 below. Here notes are given below the table. See the note number 2. The value of epsilon is given, that is epsilon is equal to 250 divided by fy raised to half. Means we have to take the square root of this value, that is 250 divided by fy. See, in many cases of the steel structure, the capacity of the yield stress of the material of the steel is 250 MPa. In many cases, we have to use the mild steel for the design of steel structure. We use the mild steel. Okay, and the what is the yield stress of the mild steel? 250 MPa, Newton per mm square. That's why the value of epsilon is nearly 1, means absolutely 1 in many cases when we have to use the mild steel, because the grade of the mild steel is 250 MPa. Okay, that's why the value of epsilon is 1, because 250 divided by 250 we will get the 1, and square root of 1 is equal to 1. That's why we will get the same value, that is 9.4. Okay, so see the last line of the class 1, page number 17. Read the last line. The width to thickness ratio of the plate elements shall be less than that specified under the class 1. Shall be less than. This is important. Shall be less than means what? If we can find the B upon TF ratio for the particular element, and if this value is less than 9.4 epsilon, if this value is less than 9.4 epsilon, in that case the material or element is in the first class, that is the plastic. Can you get the idea? If we can find the V upon TF ratio for a particular element, and if the value of this B upon TF ratio is less than 9.4, I am saying that less than 9.4 epsilon, in that case we can say that the element is classified under the class 1, that is plastic. Get the idea? Okay, now see the B part, class 2. Class 2, that is the compact sections. The cross section which can develop plastic moment of resistance but have inadequate plastic hinge rotation capacity for the formation of plastic mechanism due to local buckling. The width to thickness ratio of the plate element shall be less than that specified under the class 2 compact, but greater than that specified under the class 1, that is plastic. See in the table, see the table, please see the table, table number 2. Okay, class of section, here you have to see this one 2 point class 2, you have to see this value class 2. Okay, now what is mean by compact sections? Compact sections are nothing but having some less moment of resistance capacity than the plastic section, because in case of the plastic section there is a development of the plastic hinges, and due to that development of plastic hinges there is the additional rotation capacity developed within that section, plastic sections, and this additional rotation capacity will give us the additional moment resisting capacity, okay, in case of plastic. But in case of compact, this section, plastic hinges are not formed in a proper way, okay, but there is a plastic moment resisting capacity of the section. In that section there is some plastic moment resisting capacity, but the plastic hinges are not formed properly in this case, compact section. Therefore the moment resisting capacity of compact section is less than the plastic section. Can you get the idea? Okay. Now width to thickness ratio of the plate element shall be less than that specified under the class 2. You have to see the class 2 compact, column number 4 you have to see, table number 2, column number 4, that is class 2 compact. Here for the roll section, if width to thickness ratio is greater than 9.4 epsilon and up to 10.5 epsilon, or less than 10.5 epsilon and greater than 9.4 epsilon, if the value is lying in between these two values, in that case we can say that the section is under the class of compact, that is class 2, that is class 2. See, see again, if the width to thickness ratio of the plate element is greater than 9.4 epsilon and less than 10.5 epsilon, or up to 10.5 epsilon, in that case we can say that the plate element is classified under the class 2, that is compact section. Get the idea? All of you get the idea? Okay. Now see the class 3, next point, class 3. Class 3 is the semi-compact element or section, semi-compact. In that, the cross sections in which the extreme fiber in the compression can reach the yield stress. This is important point, that is yield strength. These elements can reach up to the yield stress only. You can see in the above figure. See here, see here. In case of semi-compact, these elements can reach up to only yield stress. That is, moment resisting capacity is yielding moment only, not the plastic one, not the plastic one. Here, in case of semi-compact, the material can get up to only yielding point, can get up to only yielding point. Okay. See, in which the extreme fiber in the compression can reach yield stress but cannot develop the plastic moment of resistance due to the local buckling. Here in this case of semi-compact elements, these elements cannot reach up to the plastic moment of resistance. They are up to only the elastic capacity. They are up to only the elastic capacity, that is the yield strength only. They can reach only up to the yielding point. Okay. Now the width to thickness ratio of the plate element shall be less than that specified under the class 3 of semi-compact, but the greater than that is specified under the class 2 compact. Now again see the table, this one, last column, that is column number 5, class 3 semi-compact. Okay, can you get this column? Okay. Now if here the width to thickness ratio of the plate element is greater than 10.5, here the value is given in column number 4, 10.5 epsilon, but it is less than 15.7 epsilon, 15.7 epsilon, in that case we can say that the element is classified under the class 3, that is semi-compact element. Get the idea? Get the idea? Okay, I will repeat once. If the width to thickness ratio of the plate element is greater than 10.5 epsilon, but it is less than or up to 15.7 epsilon. The value is lying in between these two points or two values. Then the plate element is classified under the class 3, that is semi-compact. Okay, got it? Now last part, that is the class 4 slenders. Class 4 slender elements. Okay, the cross section in which the elements buckle locally when even before reaching the yield stress. Even before reaching the yield stress, that is the important point in this slender section. The cross section in which the element buckles locally even before reaching the yield stress means, again you can see the diagram here. These ones are the slender elements. These are the slender elements. These are fails even before reaching to the elastic point. This is the elastic limit, that is yielding point. Yielding point is here. But these elements cannot reach up to this point also. They just fail before this. They fails at this point only. They fails at this point only. They cannot reach up to the yielding point. Okay, slender elements. Now, the cross section in which the elements buckle locally even before reaching the yielding stress, the width to thickness ratio of the plate elements shall be greater than that specified under the class 3 semi-compact given in the table number 2. Now see the table again. See the table. See the last column, semi-compact. See the last column, semi-compact. If we analyze the plate element and if you find the width to thickness ratio of the particular element, and if this ratio is greater than 15.7 epsilon, if this value is greater than 15.7 epsilon, then we can say that the element is classified under the class 4, that is slender. That is slender. I will repeat once. If we can find the width to thickness ratio of a particular element, the whole section, and if the value of width to thickness ratio is greater than 15.7 epsilon, for a first case, that is the whole section, if the value is greater than this semi-compact value, then in that case the section is classified under the class 4, that is slender. That is slender. All of you get the idea of these all four sections? All of you get the idea of all these four section classification, that is plastic, semi-compact, semi-compact and slender. Now, when the different elements of the cross section fall under the different classes, then the section shall be classified as governed by the most critical element. This is very important line. See, as in case of the I section, I section is divided into two parts. First is the outstanding element and second one is the internal element. Flanges are classified under the outstanding element and web is classified under the internal element. Okay. Now see, there are section classification for each element. Suppose the flange is classified under the class plastic, that is class 1. And if the web is classified under the class of compact, then there is big question that in which class we have to classify the whole I section. That is the question. If the flange portion is classified into plastic and web portion is classified into compact, then what we have to do? We have to do as per this IS code clause. Okay. Again read the line, page number 17. After these four classes A, B, C, D, read the next line. When different elements of a cross section falls under the different classes, means flange is classified into other class and web is classified into different class. In that case, the section means the whole I section shall be classified as governed by the most critical element. Now, what is the meaning of this most critical element? Most critical element means the element which is having less moment resisting capacity. The most critical element means the element which is having less moment resisting capacity. Now, can you tell me the which element having the less moment resisting capacity? Either plastic or compact? Obviously compact. Obviously compact. You just see this diagram, very clear. You just see this diagram. The less slender sections having the most uh, means means less value. Slender section is having less value, and semi-compact is having more than slender. Compact is having more than semi-compact and slender, and plastic section is having more than these three sections, that is compact, semi-compact and slender. Means the plastic section is having highest capacity of moment of resistance. Plastic section is having highest capacity, and after that there is a compact section, after that there is a semi-compact, and slender is section having the least capacity of moment of resistance. From this figure you can easily get the idea about most critical section or most critical element. Okay, by taking example we'll get idea about this very clear. From a single example you will get the idea about the section. Okay, now can you get the idea about this limiting width to thickness ratio for a particular element? IS 800 2007 table number 2. Can you get the idea of this all table, or we'll discuss in problems also this part? Okay, now now we will start with the problems. Now we will start with the problem, that is classification of section, and for that we have to use this table, that is table number 2. Okay, for the solving the problem you must ready with your pen, pencil, book, calculator. Okay, we'll start with the classification of cross section.